Well, I'm finally on the road. I've spent about 8 days now traveling in the bus. And for the first while, I didn't document much because Mother Nature decided to throw a bit of a curveball at me. I was driving through a bomb cyclone on the way down the east coast of Canada and the US, going through blizzard conditions and some pretty stressful driving. So that was my main focus during that, but now I've finally made it to some warm weather. I'm down here in Florida, currently on Merritt Island, and going to be spending the next while down here, enjoying the warm weather. But welcome to the bus and welcome to the journey, the start of what I hope will be the biggest journey of my life so far. So without more hesitation, let's go down and check out the bus. Welcome to my new home. This is where I'm going to be living for the next year or more as I travel North America. Let me show you around a little bit. We'll start up front. So, starting at the front of the bus. As you can tell, there's a lot of stuff in here right now. I haven't quite figured out where it's going to get stored for the journey, so it's a bit of a mess. But just a general idea. I have some rod storage up here. I have pretty good size storage right here, just a shelf, and then a very large shelf back here. Tons more storage. This is where I drive. This is where I spend hours every day when I'm trying to make ground on the road. Turning around to look the other direction, this is where I have my climbing training board. So I have a Beastmaker 2000 series right here, and then some Skin Farms, which are some real granite edges to hang on. Small coat rack. And yeah, the main bus doors, they still open and shut, just like the original bus. Nothing was changed there. And yeah, let's hop inside. So, coming in from the front of the bus, the first two things you'll encounter are the shower and my main storage area here. So starting with the storage area, this first drawer is just a pull-out. It has all of my climbing carabiners, equipment and stuff, along with my electric guitar. The top portion is kind of just overflow storage right now. Some clothing, some stuff that I just don't know where it's going to live during the journey. This next drawer here is my main storage area. So this actually is on a caster wheel to help support the weight. This is all of my clothing storage, and then inside is all of my camping gear, some climbing gear, my acoustic guitar, and some parts that I still need to install for the bus. On the right here is my shower. So this is all actual tile, a river stone floor with some just nice tiles that I think look good. So right here in the shower is actually a bit of an invisible door. If I open it up, this whole thing swings open. And my toilet comes right in on drawer slides. Moving forward in the bus, I have my probably over gigantic fridge. It's a 12 volt fridge, but it is 16 cubic feet. Rather large. I have a bunch of stuff in here right now that was probably all knocked around from the drive I just did. My kitchen space. I have a 2-burner induction stove, all butcher block countertops with a nice live edge finish. My sink here, the water pump is up there with the rest of the water system. I have all of my spices, paper towel rack, which I'm out of right now. This is my coffee maker. I have some general storage here. So right now I just have some dry goods, but my hope is actually eventually to make this eaves trough in the back into a little bit of a herb garden. so I have fresh herbs as I travel. All of the drawers here are pushed open, and all of them are full of a ton of stuff right now. I'm still in the organization process. I've only been on the road for about a week, so there's still a bunch of stuff that I need to figure out where it's going to live. Moving to the other side here, I have my workstation. I work as a remote software developer, and this is my main workstation. So I have 2 monitors here, keyboard, mouse, and underneath the desk here, I actually have a full-on desktop that is stored. It also runs off of 120, so I run the inverter for that. For internet, I'm using Starlink, I'm using the Roam, and that allows me to have the flexibility to have Wi-Fi anywhere I want on the road. All right, so at the back of the bus here, I have my big U lounger with my Laguna table that is cut out of a piece of a tree that actually fell on our cottage in Muskoka in Ontario. So we milled it down with a chainsaw and then spent a lot of time with a planer, but really proud of how it turned out, and I think it's great back here, especially with the Laguna mount, so I can position it wherever I want. This couch back here is gigantic, and it's actually big enough for someone to sleep on. This allows me to have visitors in the bus, and this is where they would stay over. So you might be wondering how it's even possible to have this big of a seating area in the bus. Where do I sleep? Well, that's actually probably the coolest thing about the whole conversion I did, and probably the thing I'm the most proud about in terms of the design. And let me show you. So the cool thing about the bed is that it's actually up here. It's over top of the whole seating area, which does mean you can't quite walk in, but when you're sitting down on the couches, the ceiling height's plenty nice. And whenever I do want to go to bed, all I have to do is walk over to my desk here and hold this button. Here we are, ready to sleep for the night. So yeah, that's the bus. And this is where I'm going to be living for the next year or more as I travel around North America. That was really just a quick walkthrough. All of the kind of basic things. There's a lot more that goes into a conversion like this. But I just wanted to show you the outline of where I'm living. And if you guys want a more in-depth dive into the actual kind of mechanical side of the bus, the electrics, the plumbing, a little bit more of the nitty-gritty, just let me know. I would be happy to make a video about it, but I didn't want to bore you guys with it unless you wanted to see it. Now that I've gotten to some warm weather and I'm starting to settle into the bus, I think it's time to start the adventures, but that'll be in the next video. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for some shenanigans.